Good afternoon. Yeah, welcome to another edition of Import Export Platform Facebook Live from 3 Pestry Academy. My name is Dele Ayemibo, and we'll continue from where we stop. On Friday. I could not have a session yesterday. Yesterday was hectic. I had 3 programs. Typically on a Saturday, I have a class from 7 a.m. to around 3 p.m., about 4 classes on different trade certification program. And sometimes tends to have some other program in the evening. So I have this MSME business clinic that I facilitate like twice a month. And I had a session there. It was explosive. And that took me till from 4 p.m. till 7. So I came back tired. It became very difficult for me to have a session yesterday. I think Saturday, I don't know. I'll just be doing my Sunday, maybe in the afternoon, and see if I can do it in the evening. But definitely assuring you that Monday to Friday, nothing will stop that. Even anywhere I am on that one, it becomes easier for me to do. All right. My name is Dele Ayemibo. This is Import Export Platform from Facebook Live from 3 Pestry Academy. Now, what's interesting about the session we've been doing on starting managing export business now is that we are currently at a particular level. I'm trying to check where we are. Sorry. I'm trying to get where we stopped the last time. Okay, we stopped at the law of usefulness. The law of usefulness. And today, we'll continue from where we stopped. The law of usefulness. And today, we'll continue from where we stopped. And where we stop is, what we'll be discussing, what we'll be starting from is law of usefulness. We end at law of usefulness. So we'll be starting from law of faithfulness in little. Sorry, let me just reconfirm to be sure I'm following my note. Yeah, the law of faithfulness in little. The law of faithfulness in little. I might have to move this closer. This is just too far. Yeah. The law of faithfulness in little. It says you are only qualified for promotion and hence increased responsibility and income in life when you have been faithful in small tasks. He said, you are only qualified for promotion and hence increased responsibility and income in life when you have been faithful in smaller tasks. You know what happens is that sometimes people will start a business, and when they start a business, you start a business and you just want to go to the top immediately. Sometimes, anyway, that's the reason why we're going through this, about the fact that in this life, you should always know the fact that there's something called paying your dues. And that's where the law of gestation comes from. That anything you work at, any good thing or good idea you work at, takes a while to materialize. It takes a while to materialize simply because it has to go through cycles. And I've talked about these cycles. Cycle of ups and downs. Cycle of planting and harvest, light and day, and these are cycles that you really cannot do much without. They are just the way life works. Now, with what we are looking at today about the law of faithfulness in little, meaning when you are starting, you are supposed to start little. There is always a small way to do that export business. Some people will come to me, they say, I want to export cocoa. And I'll say, okay, how much are you looking at investing in this business? When he say he want to export cocoa, he really does not even have an idea of what it means to export cocoa. So when I begin to highlight to them, I say, look, even if you have the money to export cocoa, will you go and put your head inside cocoa at the beginning? Today, a container of cocoa, a ton of cocoa is about over 600,000. If you are putting about 15 in a container minimum, that's about 9 million naira, excluding logistics and other costs. So now I'll say, look, even if you have the money, must you take that risk on the first transaction? Depending on your level, on how much you have, 9 million might be small money. But I feel strongly you can reduce the risk of losses as much as possible by learning all you need to learn and start small. When you are faithful at this small level, like I said, small is relative, depending on your level as an individual in terms of wealth and financial power. Being able to start little and do successfully little make you qualify for more. If that business is going to grow, just start little. Don't always look for the big part of the business. You can have the vision of a great business in future, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, depending on what you're looking at. That's the vision you have for the business in future. But right now, how do you want to start the business? You can be thinking of the like of Olam. Olam is a big business. We started in Nigeria about 30 years ago. And now it's a global business in many countries. So you can have great vision, that's okay, but there's always a small way to start. Maybe working with 1 or 2 products if it's finished product, or working with just one commodity if you're doing commodity. But you know that I am not a fan of commodity. You know that I am not a fan of commodity. Why? Commodity is modern slavery. It makes us to be the farmer of the world. We are just producing for the world to make money. We are just giving them raw materials. So it's very important that we ensure that as individual, you look at a way of starting small, even with value added. And you need to incur so much cost and spend so much money, even if you are doing value added. I'm a fan of value addition. I strongly believe that you should do value addition. I strongly believe that you should ensure that you don't do commodity, but even with the value addition, it can be started. In fact, do you know that it's actually more expensive for you? Do you know that it's actually more expensive for you? Sorry, I'm trying to be sure my voice is out. Do you know that it's actually cheaper to do commodity than to do finished product? So it's actually cheaper in the long run if you are doing finished product. Do you know, even if you are setting up a factory, okay, I just told you now cocoa, a container of cocoa will cost you about 9 to 10 million. But you can set up a factory plus the machine, plus the land, plus the cover if you are using the container, leasing a land, plus the generator. You can actually spend less than 5 million naira and set up a factory. Do you understand? So that's basically saying that people doing finished product actually eventually have to spend less than commodity. But when people want to go into export, the first thing they think about is cocoa, cashew, ginger, gum. Not processed cocoa, not processed cashew, not processed ginger, not processed gum, but in the raw state. There's just something like a software running in our mind that just makes us to only think of commodity whenever we think of export, for one strange reason. So every time anybody come around, I discourage them. In fact, if you want me to work with you on mentoring for commodity, I charge very heavily. And it's because I don't want to do it. I want to discourage them. Let them go and do it from someone else. Can we begin to look at how we can do finished product? And ensure that at the end of the day, we are doing finished product. The reason why we are doing finished product basically is because we will have created job locally. Then you make more money from it. Because the raw material is from here now. If the raw material is from here, then you are at an advantage. Why is it that the foreigner will make more from us? We do the work, they make the money. We do the work, they make the money. So even in the principle I'm talking about, the faithfulness in little, you can actually do it. Finished product is a way of starting little. I am not even saying you should start with processing and set up a factory. No. I am of the opinion that what you need to do at the beginning is actually for you to reduce your cost. And how do you reduce your cost? By not setting up the factory yourself, but getting someone to produce for you in contract production. In contract production. For someone to produce for you. Why do you need someone to produce for you in contract production? That helps you at the end of the day to be able to test the market, lower your cost of startup, test the market, establish the market, but invest in the market in your own brand. So you are marketing your brand. You are marketing in your brand. Why are you marketing in your brand? You are marketing in your brand because they have produced the packaging material and you are giving it to them to produce and just put it inside for you and do it in your brand so that every effort you are putting into that market, you are the one that eventually enjoy the benefits. But you are doing this and selling finished product at a very, very cheaper rate and significantly reducing your cost. Start little but grow fast. Start little but grow fast. Don't stay at that little level. Have a brilliant idea, big dream, big audacious goal. Be high. Be big, hairy, audacious goal. Big and heavy, audacious goal. Have that big goal, but start small and then ensure that you're consistently growing. It helps you to reduce your cost. It helps you to learn the rope. It helps you to, at the end of the day, you're able to eventually also minimize the losses. And if there will be loss at all, the cost and the load will not be too heavy on you. The law of faithfulness in employment. This is more for those that are currently in a paid job and thinking of going into export after the paid job. You're in a paid job right now. You're thinking of going into business after the paid job, and you're thinking of export. You are only qualified to start and run successful business when you are faithful and selflessly serve others. Does not mean you can't start out directly. Only that when you serve others, there is a way he does for you. You learn. There are a lot of things you learn and pick up along the way. If it's a very big corporate organization, that will be very good. Even if it's a small organization but it's well run, that will be very good. And the reason for that is it helps you eventually to be able to enjoy the benefit. You pick up ideas. There are some things we do today that I learned as a staff of a bank before leaving. These are things we do in the bank, and these are practices I took down. And it cut across from letterhead to salary payment to meetings to strategy sessions to marketing. I mean, so many things that you just pick along. Because when you begin to think, you just begin to implement those things. You just begin to implement those things. You begin to implement those things. You begin to implement those things because it becomes part of you. You pick them along the way. But you know the beauty is that you pick them along the way, but they are very good practices that you need to grow your business. You pick them along the way, but they are very good practices you need to grow your business. But you pick them along the way. You didn't learn them consciously. But for one reason or the other, somehow, those things eventually become, Those things eventually become a good one for you. You didn't pick them, you didn't learn them consciously. So learning from people, which is this also mentoring can do for you. You know, you can't know it all. No, you can't know it all. There's always a place for you to learn from someone. Mentoring in life, role models in life, people you look up to, people you have relationship you can discuss issue with and can give you ideas and can tell you what they feel and will tell you frankly if you are going wrong. You still have the choice to take your decision, but at least you have someone calling you to order when you're going out of hand. And they give you ideas. And some of those ideas they give you are probably what they've learned. And that's very important. Principle is so important for you. The principle of learning, and that's what employment does. The principle of learning. Learning from people. Learning from people's idea. Learning from people's knowledge. Learning, because look, all of us in life stand on the shoulder of someone. When you read a book, you are standing on the shoulder of someone to see ahead. Use the knowledge of people, other people's knowledge, to be able to get along. It's very important you try to get along. Inability to get along is a major challenge for many. And it's because they will not be able to learn all they need to learn in working with people. And I'm saying, if you're in paid employment is good, it's great. The only challenge is that it's not good to stay too long. I strongly believe that you should not spend your productive year just serving others. It's good to serve others, to learn, maybe 5 years, 10 years max, but always have it at the back of your mind that you need to do something for yourself on your own. You need to do something for yourself on your own. You need to do something for yourself on your own. You need to do something for yourself on your own. It's so important. It's so important. And it's not just about money. It's about building legacy. It's not just about money. It's about creating value for your world. It's not just about money. It's about adding something to your name as your contribution to humanity. That's more important. When you do it in an organization, you do it in the name of the organization. That's why it's good you do it yourself, so you can do it in your own name and write your name in gold. And leave your name on the sand of times. That decision for me is not about money. As for some people, when your decision, every decision you take in life as an individual is always about money, it's a very wrong way to think. There's a principle I learned in scripture. It said, labor not for the meat that perisheth. It said, man shall not live by bread alone. That is the wisdom for a great teacher. Labor not for the meat that perisheth, but that which endure beyond you. So, and that should drive what you do. Because from people, anything that does not go down to naira and kobo, they are not interested. It's also a very nasty way to think. And what I've discovered is that when you think of others and try to create value for others and be a blessing to others and adding value to others, somehow it comes back to you. Somehow it comes back to you. At the end of the day, it becomes a positive one for you. It becomes a positive one for you. It becomes a positive one for you because at the end of the day, what it does for you is that it makes you to become more developed. Because you actually develop. You actually develop more when you add value to others. And you know what? As human beings, this is the way we are designed to function. But unfortunately, selfishness has not made many to function in the way we are designed. Selfishness has not made many to function in the way we are designed. Why? They think only of themselves alone. Me, myself, and I. Me, myself, and I. Me, myself, and I. In fact, when you're thinking of export, you're actually thinking of how to contribute your own quota to the world. Remember, I talked about the law of vision. That the vision should be written down, penciled down. The vision should be your primary focus, principal focus. The vision should be people oriented, and the vision should be penciled down, principal focus, people oriented, and problem solving. It's people oriented and problem solving. So it's solving problem for people. It's solving problem for people. So most of the challenge that people face in export business can basically be solved by just applying principles. So for example, if you have learned from working in a place, that makes you will have put your one or two things that will help you to overcome some challenge you will have faced even in your own business. The last one I'll be talking about today is the law of a successful life, business, home. A successful business is built through wisdom, established on the foundation of understanding. A successful business is built through wisdom and established on the foundation of understanding. Someone say understanding is something you are standing under. It's a kind of clarity of a concept that spurs you to action. Understanding is a kind of clarity of a concept that spurs you into action. Understanding is a kind of clarity of a concept that spurs you into action. Lack of understanding is an unclear concept that makes you remain docile, inactive. Docile and inactive. You are learning. You know, some people go for seminars. They collect wisdom keys, collect laws, collect principles. Right. The goal of knowledge is transformation. If you can't break the knowledge you have learned into what you will stop doing and start doing, and be able to put it into action, is useless and worthless. Useless and worthless. Useless and worthless. So the goal of knowledge is transformation. And the whole of learning is to be able to become better. 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 Ask yourself, how better are you in what you do now compared to before now? How better are you? Now, the reason why I'm rounding off this almost 100-part series with discussing principles is because you might have listened to part 1 to part 90 or part 80, and do you know what? You might still be unable to execute, to put it into practice, and you might even put it in practice and have issues because you decline or neglect some very vital principles on which life is lived. People will have challenges in business, and they'll be asking the question, who? But the principle should be, question what? What have I done wrong? What could I have done that I have not done? Rather than saying, who did this to me? Even when someone defraud you, the question you should ask is what? You know why? When you ask the question what, the what make you to know what could I have done to prevent this person from defrauding me? Because for him to defraud me and is because I gave him the chance. That means there's something I'm doing wrongly that made me. I could have done it in a way that I will work with him and he will not be able to defraud me because I already know how to put control in place. Maybe because I trust people too much. Does not mean I should not trust people, but I should put control in place to ensure that they don't take advantage of me. And ensure that whatever exposure I have is at the minimal level of risk. So at the end of the day, if it happens, it's not something that will be too painful for me. But if I don't put those control in place, it becomes very difficult for me to get along and make progress. It's so important that we live our lives based on principles. And this principle of expert business success, which we've been discussing, which I will spend the whole of this coming week discussing again. I still have, I'm at, I think, 21 or 22. So I still have about 18, and I do about 3 in a day. So for most part of this week, because I do 10 episodes in a week. So for most part of this week, that's what I'll be discussing again. Why am I discussing, like I said, is because if you don't live based on principles, you will hit the rock. And you will, even when you hit the rock, if you are looking on principle, you can still outgrow that rock and be able to still get along and make progress. That's in spite of the challenges. Don't overrate your circumstances. Those challenges you are facing are not peculiar to you. Those challenges you are facing are not peculiar to you. Those challenges you are facing are not peculiar to you. And you have the strength, the power, the muscle, and everything it takes to overcome that challenge. Don't get carried away because of the challenges. Just ensure that you live by principles. When I face a challenge, I ask myself, this challenge has an expiry date. What I need to do is to stay true. I will overcome that challenge. The pressure will be more. And the pressure is for you to yield and give up and run away. In fact, it becomes a lot easier if you apply the principle I've talked about today. When you start, you reduce your error rate. Like the employee, I'm so blessed with today's lecture. I got something today that I have been battling with towards scaling my business. Remember, Anthony Emeka, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Good to hear that I'm very glad with your statement. At least it's good that people are getting blessed, and I'm helping one person or the other, and that's what life is all about: contributing your own quota to the advancement of humanity. So I was talking about the fact that the mentoring issue and the employment issue, that those two things, there's a way they add to you. So if you don't have the chance, you just started the business directly, that's okay. Go for mentoring. Try to work with people. Look for people you can work with. People that have bigger vision, because you really cannot rise above the knowledge level of what you know. Every one of us in life are limited by what we know. The whole essence of reading, of learning, is to expand your world, expand your horizon, expand your world, expand your horizon, expand the way you think and reason. Because when you learn, you tap from other people's experience and knowledge. And that makes you to get along and go ahead. So if you have not worked on a job where you are able to, because when you go to job, I strongly believe that the essence of working is where one receives knowledge. So when you go and work, is to receive knowledge. If that's what you do at the place of work, not just way of rewarding know-how, not just money and cash, but you receive knowledge where you go, what it does for you is that it makes it easier for you to overcome challenges that you confront you. It makes it easier for you to overcome challenges, because you will have seen how those companies also overcame those challenges when you were there. And that becomes a template for you. A successful life is built through wisdom and established through understanding. A successful business is built through wisdom and established through understanding. Get wisdom. Learn about laws of life. Learn about laws that guide business and activity on the earth, and align yourself with it, and it becomes a lot easier for you to be your best. Thank you very much for listening again today. My name is Dilayimba. This is Import Export Platform Facebook Live from 3D Better Academy. Remember, you can follow me on YouTube by searching my name, Dilayimba, and you can follow 3D Import TV also, because we have a weekly program that might be of interest to you to be able to learn more about export. See you in the evening. I will try to see if we can still do something today, but definitely tomorrow morning, we'll continue as usual, starting and managing export business, and that will be part 96. Bye for now.